Muscle release therapy is a form of body work that resets the body's function and structure back to kind of like factory settings. The body starts using the correct muscle for the correct job, and the posture goes back to normal, and it corrects a lot of issues that people find. If you think back to caveman days from like an evolutionary standpoint, when people had to run away from saber-toothed tigers, if you're running away and you bang your shin on a rock, what happens is the muscle will send a signal to the brain and say, hey, I just hit a rock, I'm not going to be doing anything for a while. And your brain doesn't want you to get eaten, so it says, all right, well, there's this muscle, there's this muscle, and there's this muscle. They're nearby, they'll move the leg, we can get out of here, use those. The problem is those muscles aren't designed to do that job. So what'll happen is they'll put pressure on the joint at your knee, let's say, and they'll twist something out. So what muscle release therapy does is it allows the muscle to complete the movement that it was doing when it initially became inhibited. And that restores the pathway to that muscle. Once it's using the right muscle, the muscle is what controls the structure. So the structure goes back to where it's supposed to sit, and a lot of the problems that were associated with it being out of alignment go away.
As a dancer, I'm always looking for things that are able to enhance my placement, that are able to take stress off of joints, muscles, anything that can possibly pull my dancing back from its best ability. So I try to think of my body as like a car, and what I want to do is always be in constant kind of optimum performance and fine-tuned. I was really kind of in awe the first time when I had muscle release therapy and I got up off the table and I was like, everything's sort of aligned where it should be. And as a dancer, part of my job is to be aligned. It's just funny how much my technique had kind of changed in order to try to compensate for what was out of place. So I do notice that I feel everything's in a line, and when everything feels good, you usually go for more. I don't feel like I'm dancing around something. I feel like what ends up happening is because my body is where it should be anatomically, I can then take those risks. I can then execute those steps and have that command in it versus worrying about how it feels. I can worry about how it looks.
Once we get into the room, the treatment is very straightforward. It's very low-key, for lack of a better term. People are fully clothed, they just have to wear something loose and comfortable. It's a very light touch. It's literally the weight of the fingers on the hand is enough to actually engage most releases. So by using a light touch, though, you're just encouraging it, you're just kind of sending the signal to the brain to allow this muscle to complete its motion and to go back to normal.
Felt very light, not very physical. It wasn't like a deep tissue massage, which is what I'm used to getting. It was all very non-invasive, and I remember getting up off the table and thinking, okay, well, I feel a little lightheaded, a little bit like I just had a very relaxing, like a great nap. And Justin said to me, okay, well, so just wait till you go to class tomorrow. You're going to feel very different. Sure enough, I took class the next morning. We were in the middle of one of our most difficult performance seasons at Lincoln Center, and I was able to do things that I hadn't been able to do since I was 17 years old. Like, all the things that Justin had predicted, they had come true. Even my director said something after the show. He was like, wow, that was really something. Well done tonight. And I remember thinking, oh my gosh, muscle release therapy, yes!
I've been asked by a lot of people who I work on or who it's good for. Is it for, just for dancers? Is it just for athletes? And I always answer the same way. It's good, effective for literally everybody. The issue is it's effective for everyone differently, though. Someone that's a dancer or a fighter or an athlete, they're going to have a much different use of their body than someone who's, let's say, sitting at a computer all day. I find both sets of people find a great deal of benefit from muscle release therapy, just, again, from different ways.
It's a number of years ago now. I was extremely skeptical. My wife made the appointment, and I went essentially to humor her, and then I show up and I'm expecting a massage. That's not what it is at all. And then when it was finished, I was astonished that I felt much better. I've had a number since then. It's particularly good if I've had a gym routine and something is not working quite right, where a massage would sort of ease it temporarily, but it wouldn't solve the problem. I found that this approach actually solves the problem. You're wondering, how can this be doing any good? I barely feel anything. And then when it's done, remarkably, whatever was bothering you, if you were out of alignment, if Often I have a shoulder issue, particularly if I've done some weights. And when you're done, it's just not there anymore. It's really quite remarkable. I've gone from very skeptical to a believer.
The better your body feels, the better your wellness is. And that's just, it's so connected. So I definitely think even not just dancers and athletes, but I think a lot of non-dancers and athletes can experience those benefits as well.
It's amazing because everybody who has gone to see Justin, they come back to me and they're like, oh my gosh, you were right. It was amazing.
I'm a lawyer by training. I'm skeptical by nature. As I say, I've had a number of these sessions over the years, probably the last 5 years or so. I'm a believer.